Hey, good afternoon, Jordan.
Good
Uh,
afternoon, Bill. Thanks for having
uh,
me today.
you bet. I understand you're going to take us through how to use ORock's new cloud assessment tool, how users can log in, what information they're going to need, and of course, the security of the tool.
Yes, absolutely. So we'll dive right in here. We're super excited to announce our cloud assessment offering that helps our strategic customers showcase and see the value, the cost predictability, or the price predictability and the cost savings, as well as some potential performance savings from the ORock cloud versus some of the hyperscalers that are in market. So we're on our landing page here, our qualifying page here that explains a little bit about what we're doing with our cloud assessment. We are using a tool that will essentially crawl either an AWS or an Azure bill. There's no agents to be installed. It's purely API call access only. It's read-only access, so nothing can be changed. We also don't have any insights into the resources that are being utilized, purely the cost associated with said resource and components of the hyperscalers. But we've got a little bit of a buzz about kind of what we're offering here. And then this is a very basic landing qualifying page that we've got a couple questions, as it is a no charge assessment. But we do want to make sure that we're going through this from a proper format with potential customers and partners alike. So a couple quick questions. Do you use AWS or Azure today? We're going to say yes in this regard. And then, do you spend $5,000 or more a month on AWS or Azure? And for this purpose, we'll go yes here, and we'll go straight through into our actual assessment page. And you see this website didn't take you anywhere else. It just went immediately to our ORock Cloud Assessment page, where you can actually toggle back and forth between AWS or Azure. And what we've done here is we actually have live screenshots of an AWS Cloud Formation tool, or on the Azure side, the Azure tenant, the portal account to get access into that billing API invoice. But we'll look at AWS just really quickly, and we actually go through here and we show a customer, a user, how to access and provide the information that we're looking for. Again, it's all very API access based. We're just going to take a quick snapshot of a user's invoice, an active invoice of AWS and or Azure, and then assess that as it relates to the ORock cloud. So essentially try to take as much of an apples to apples approach between the two different cloud providers and the ORock cloud. And once you go through these steps, which by the way, although it says 9 steps, Bill, we're talking sub 10 minutes to go through this process. You'll actually have everything filled out on this left side. But for this purpose, we'll just go through. We got a couple demo keys set up here that we can go through. And once you've gone through, you'll hit submit, and you'll see a green box pop up that says somebody will be in touch within 48 to 72 hours to schedule your assessment review. And what does that mean? Well, over the next 2 to 3 days, our tool will take that snapshot, and then on the back end, the algorithm will assess and compare, as I mentioned, an AWS or Azure bill related to the ORock cloud bill. And what we do from there is we are going to actually produce an assessment review. And this is a sample assessment from an actual customer of AWS in particular. And no, it was not Acme Corp and Wile E. Coyote, but for this purpose, it was. And we'll go through this and kind of show what we did with that assessment review. So this particular customer was actually spending almost $75,000 a month in AWS compute storage networking. And our assessment showed that nearly a third of that, or almost $25,000, is in what we call egregious or unadvertised fees from AWS. And what are some of those fees? Well, oftentimes we see things like egress fees, data access, data migration fees. The ORock cloud bill, we provide a predictable price model, and that we don't charge for data access, data egress, things like API calls, things like additional performance, storage performance, IOPS, or professional services. All of this is flat rate and inclusive in our ORock cloud pricing, whether it be our infrastructure as a service, our platform as a service, or with our storage components. And this particular customer in an apples to apples comparison model would save nearly $20,000 and have a much more predictable price month in, month out with the ORock cloud versus their current spend with AWS. But let's extrapolate that a little bit and see what that looks like over the course of 12 months or even 36 months, a 3-year term. Nearly $250,000 savings in a year, or almost $700,000 savings in a 36-month term. But beyond just the savings that we can show, we also are looking to do potential performance workload showcase as well. So in that assessment, that 30 to 60-minute review, so this is not some great statement of work and a multi-week long engagement. We're talking, an hour less conversation about the report and what we can show them. But part of that showcase, we would like to do either a sandbox or a proof of concept, and potentially look at moving some workloads from the current hyperscaler, AWS or Azure, into the ORock cloud to further show the full capabilities of the ORock cloud. So very short and sweet here from our report and our output that we've got for our customers.
Looks super and also pretty straightforward, but what if a customer has some concerns about the security aspects of APIing into their environment? Any way to address those concerns?
It's a great question, Bill. We have got a short little security frequently asked question slide here, or page here rather, from our cloud assessment tool. We are, as I mentioned earlier, it's an API call. There are no agents that are being installed. There's no write access into the actual AWS or Azure environment. It's purely a one-time snapshot of their invoice, and no data is being stored for long-term beyond the actual delivery of the assessment. It's also fully encrypted end-to-end. The ORock cloud being very security focused, being a government-grade secure cloud, FedRAMP moderate with FedRAMP high ready capability, we take security extremely seriously, and the same goes with our assessment here. So for any additional information around security, we can actually provide a little deeper document around what's done on the back end. But again, from an end-to-end security perspective, it's encrypted, and we're not storing that data any longer than to simply create and deliver the assessment report.
Fantastic. One more question for you. I noticed on that assessment report, it was pretty high level, which is good. You want to aggregate things up, but I know on these, AWS and Azure bills, there are hundreds of line items. Are you able to go through that level of detail and kind of show the customer where the specific areas are, workloads, IOPS, et cetera? Is that possible?
Absolutely. We will take a much more granular approach beyond this simple report and actually showcase what the instance types would actually look like in the ORock cloud versus an AWS or Azure cloud, and how that customer would consume, but also how that invoice would look.
Awesome. Thank you very much. I understand a lot of customers have hit this already. Looking for more to do so. Thanks so much, Jordan.
Yeah, thank you, Bill. We look forward to doing as many of these with our strategic customers as possible.
You bet.